Alrighty, I want to talk about a few of the the cycle you go through as a troll, the process you go through from initial days and then as time rolls on. So initial days of being a troll, you'll be fighting very hard against an e-beggar, and there'll be one that you will know of, and you'll be fighting directly against that one, and you'll be fighting very hard because you're trying to stop them and you're trying to stop other donors, and you'll be in the comments every day, and every damn comment will matter, and as time goes on, you'll realise that you're getting fairly stressed about it, and what it is, you're in constant fight mode, and you know, the stress gets to you. Now, what some people don't realise is some of these e-beggars are narcissists. They actually breed on the fighting. They love it. They love the fucking drama and the carry-on. So you're not actually tearing them down, you're actually feeding them. And you've got other people like old mate Elbow there, who, not that he's my mate, that's just an Australian saying, old mate blah blah, who actually thinks he's getting ahead by people, you know, fighting against him, because it's, oh, well, if everyone's against you, you must be heading in the right direction. You know, you must be going against the fucking norm, breaking the mould. You know, like everybody's... Well, more his one is... He says that you're a controversial figure. It's almost with him, he thinks he's on fucking Jerry Springer or something. That's more what it is, to be exact. There's someone who is fighting Teabag, whatever you want to call him. And he's been fighting him probably for 7 years now. I'd say so. And he's always seemed kind of stressed about it. And I've noticed in him lately, like, I remember he looked like he's in his early 40s, because he was indeed in his early 40s. And, you know, 7 years has gone on. But last time I really saw the guy was probably like fucking 3 years ago. And in those last 3 years, oh shit, he looks to have aged about 10 years or something, like really fucking for real. And he's always been in fight mode, and I think in essence the stress is starting to get to him and it's starting to age him a bit. When I saw him, I only saw him in a thumbnail, but it was a fairly large screen I was looking at, and god damn, like, fuck me, the dude is really taking the hit to the point that he's aged so much he almost looks like a different person. And, you know, I mean, we all age, but fuck me, you know. Anyway, this will go on for quite a while and you'll start to get burnt out about it, but there's some people that get burnt out and have to stop, or they will age badly, destroy themselves if they don't stop. There's other people who, they don't get stressed, they get angry. Now, a good example of all this is Alex Jones and a guy who worked on his show. During the 2016 election run-up, he brought more people on, and with Alex Jones, he gets angry and starts slamming his fists on the desk and stuff like that. I too have realised that I am highly motivated by anger. And I have been for quite a while, and that's what I use to motivate myself, even at work, you know. And one of my bosses once told me, you're a very angry person, and I said, no, I'm not, and I sort of realised Actually, he's sort of right. I am always sort of half perpetually angry, you know, when I'm at work, but it's part of the whole motivation process of trying to get on with the job that, you know, let's stop fucking around and get on with it here. And I, come on, let's go, sort of thing. You know, it's almost like a anger to give you motivation sort of thing. Alex Jones works a lot that way. But this guy who left, Alex Jones, was recounting the story of the conversation he had with the guy, and Alex Jones could not understand it. He's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? To the guy. But I knew exactly where the guy was coming from. And the guy basically said to him in a nutshell that he can't handle all this fighting all the time and constantly. And he said, well, this is what we do, and you should have known that from when you signed on. And, you know, how do you mean? This is just what we do. And the guy basically, he was so burnt out on all the stories and conspiracy theory kind of stories and all the New World Order or deep state stuff that was coming in and all the underhanded political, you know, bullshit tactics that were going on and stuff like that. You know, he sort of, the guy was like, he was in fight mode and he was stressed out by being in fight mode for 6 months or so. And, you know, just feeling a sense of despair that the fucking New World Order is going to finish us all. And, you know, I can't do this anymore. And Alex Jones is like, well, this is what we do, and you should have known this as we signed on, that this is what we do. And Alex couldn't understand it, but, you know, this guy, I could see exactly what it was in the retelling of the story, that the guy just had that stress burnout. Now, there's another sort of people who are like my uncle. My dad used to hate hearing about all the court cases my uncle was involved in. They weren't directly against him, but he, you know, after his not actual bankruptcy, but near bankruptcy, where he refinanced this place by the skin of his teeth, and I mean by the fucking skin of his teeth, with, you know, in 3 days to go, you know, like, he managed to refinance it in 3 days, and it was like if he didn't do it within that 3 days, by the end of the week it would have been fucked, sort of thing. But never mind the bankruptcy, so-called bankruptcy. What this guy, my uncle, done, he joined a group of other people who were being unfairly bankrupted and stuff like that, or ones who were, you know, one guy there claimed that the bank had forged his signature on a particular document. Another family there, they actually hadn't missed any payments. They'd made all payments on time, and they were being bankrupted. But they actually believe it was someone in cahoots with the bank trying to bankrupt them to take their successful business. Long and short of it, he used to come and tell us about all the different cases and all the different stuff that he'd read in the university library on different, you know, these books we have here on previous cases that you can use as references in court as precedents for the case that you might be fighting at the time, to say, well, look, there's a similar case and this was the outcome, so my estimations is the judge should see it a similar way, Your Honour. And but my father would only see it as, oh, all he does is ever talk about is just fight, 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 and it's always the negative, the negative. And I'm like, no, it's not the negative, it's just a court case, and you go through with it, and it all plays out, and you see what the results are. And, oh, but it's always fighting, it's always anger, it's always, and my dad's one of these ones that just sees the stress in it all. But my uncle wasn't, you know, and he'd be going to the, you know, oh, well, we've gone to this and to that, and the Supreme Court in this state, now it's to the High Court in Canberra, you know, that's the top court in the nation, and no big deal, we're only going to the High Court. And to him, it just become like another day at the fucking office, going into the highest court in the country, you know. And, you know, he sort of, And my father never understood it, and still doesn't. You know, even if I talk about some of these politically correct things like, you know, milk being racist and cauliflower being racist, and he's all, oh, this is ridiculous, oh, so he's all stressed about it. And I said, you don't stress about it, you just laugh because they're so fucking pathetic, these politically correct types, telling you that cauliflower and milk are fucking racist. And it's just, oh, but these people, no, these people are actually losing power quite quickly because they're so fucking ridiculous. But you might as well laugh as they're going along with all this bullshit while it lasts, because, you know, people are realising how ridiculous they are, and the politics are turning against them. They're not getting the votes. They're not going to take power. They're not going to teach your kids in school, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, it's no different with fighting against trolls. It becomes like my uncle become, with many of us, it becomes a sport. And you've got these newbies there who are fighting and pushing and, oh, we're going to make headway with this one. And with other people who have been on for a while, either you get burnt out from stress and you leave, or you get angry and you're still motivated by your anger and you're still fighting against them, or you actually enjoy fighting against them because it's just a sport. It's just like playing whack-a-mole or whatever that fucking little game used to be in the arcades. You know what I'm talking about. You know, they got another one that was alligators that would come out of these little holes, and you know, that's really all it is. It's just whack-a-mole. And it becomes a sport, and it becomes fun. And even as some of these people, you know, some of these e-biggers or whatever try and fight against you, it's almost funny seeing them fight, because you know the exact way they're going to fight, and you know their exact excuses, so you can pre-guess their excuses and slap them straight back in the face as soon as they come up with some excuse. Or, you know, you can say to people, well, you know, this happened exactly 6 months ago, the clown come out with the same bullshit, and he's still squawking and hoping we're all going to believe it, you know. And it becomes a fucking, you get so used to it, it just becomes a sport. and you enjoy it. And, you know, you still got these people like this one who was fighting against Teabag, who's still stressed, and there's some of us who is just, it's just funny. It's just a game. And, you know, and a lot of trolls, you know, some of them don't have a real effort to fight against them. Some of them just love mocking them. Because, see, mocking them, you're damaging them because you're delegitimising their stuff, which is why you get so many people with, as Marshall calls it, the one-liners in the comments, you know, saying all this stupid shit about Walmart bags being pooped in and every, you know, all the other bullshit. A lot of these idiots, though, they give you so much ammunition against them. If you watch long enough, you'll have so much ammunition, but it just becomes a sport. And even if you got ones who take themselves seriously, like Troy Reid, like, you know, the trolls will stop at nothing, you know, even ones who take themselves seriously, they're still funny because sometimes their situation is so ridiculous, so full of crap. But regardless of that, they still start getting panicky when people don't take them serious. And you're like, dude, you're like fucking 50 years old, you know, until you got this fucking other, I didn't quite understand when he said all the stuff about the kid. I thought that his wife had left him and that's why he couldn't see the kid. But, you know, this is the thing. A lot of you guys mightn't know this, but he had a hell of a lot of fucking shops previously, mainly internet cafes, mainly in Germany. He also had a bicycle shop. He told my parents a big string of fucking, he had at least 5 shops before, and they've all fell flat on their face, you know, and this is just another one again, you know. But you'll be there telling the guy that he's got to stop fucking around and get a job, and, you know, he gets all panicky, or people call his daughter ping pong, he gets all panicky, or, you know, all these different minor instances. his ego gets not even bruised, just fucking nudged a bit hard, and and they fucking, they squeal like it after fucking trashing most of their donors. They squeal like some little SJW bitch, complaining that everybody needs to take them seriously. They're mocking me. That's the one. That's the phrase. They're mocking me. These trolls are mocking me. Oh! There's even someone who had really nothing to do with him, never said a word against him, showed a cat sitting in a box of potatoes, and he assumed that they were getting their cat to mock his cat. Unbeknownst that if you actually look up stuff about cat behaviour, cats always like finding pot plants. The other day with Black Kitty, I've had her sitting in 20-gallon drums. I have her sitting in a lot of stuff. Even my sidekick, he had a little kitten. He used to go hiding in these reusable shopping bags that are the freezer ones with the foam in them that stand upright, They all like to find little cubby holes to sit in. Someone showed their cat sitting in a cardboard box and, oh, they're mocking me, oh, in a big panic to save their dignity, which they basically washed down the drain with all their fucking lies anyway. Their lies, and they're fucking slamming all their donors, and then they're so precious about their fucking, the name of the nickname of their daughter, or their fucking, somebody's mocking my cat by showing their cat in the box. Get over yourself, you fucking idiot. All cats get in boxes. It's what cats do. Fucking hell. But so many of these idiots will give you the ammo to do it. You realise they're getting annoyed by it, and or the best one of all is fucking Elvis. He directly tells you, okay, I'm fine for people to come back, but just don't mock my mum or my dad or attack my family. Dude, you realise you just told everybody, if you want to get under my skin, please mock my parents and my family. It's so fucking stupid. They give you the ammunition. And then it really becomes a sport because you know exactly how to push their buttons. Why? Because the dumb ones actually fucking tell you. Anyway, eventually you might go through a phase where you just become nihilistic, and it doesn't matter one way or the other, because you know that a lot of other people are the person's on the back foot. Their reputation has been ruined. They've got so many people attacking them, so many videos out there exposing them, that just typing their name into the search bar on YouTube, they're finished. They're finished because they're threatening to do this, doing that, fucking rah rah rah. Everything about them is all the fucking previous kids they've had, the fucking mugshot photos, their criminal record, their history, their fucking everything, all just typing that name into the search bar on YouTube, And this is the thing, like, in the end, you realise some of them, there's only one way, and it's down the shithole, and so they're finished. And so then it's like me with it's like Venezuela. All you got to do is just wait for the collapse. You don't need to send in the army or this or that, or what's your position? No, just wait it out. The collapse is coming. And it's entertainment. Watching a fucking idiot spiral down the tubes is it's entertainment. And trolling is a sport. There you go.